My ego waffles. I ain't trying to be aggressive, but people look at me like I'm an old man. I came back from resurrecting. They look at me like I came back from the dead, like it's Resident Evil. But they don't even understand that I'm actually more human than you ever can. This is why I'm what you call the ex-human. I'm just different. I'm artistically different. It's about time EX Turk pushing out no video, did work, and well, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Also, I gotta make some other announcements while I'm doing this video. Go Chiefs! Chiefs are the best NFL team. I don't care. You can dislike that video for my biased opinion, but let's get to the actual video at hand. And the video is the Wutai War the Vietnam War? Now, if anyone knows in history, the Vietnam War was one of those infamous wars that was never meant to be fought, and because it was fought, people came home and people trashed the soldiers and stuff like that, and got treated horribly by soldiers. It became a whole political movement against the Vietnam War because we were never meant to be able to go there. But I gotta say, in the Final Fantasy verse, yes, the Wutai War was a war that was never meant to be fought. And this is also one of the things that messed Sephiroth up, because before, Sephiroth saw himself as a hero, because this is when he was still loyal to Shinra, you know, and the Angeal, Sephiroth, Angeal, and Zack thought this war, needed to be fought because, well, President Shimmer told him that Gato Kisaragi, Yuffie's father, is actually a tyrannical leader, thus making him look like heroes if they take him out. You know, when Gato Kisaragi just didn't want Shinra technology in their ancient Asian traditions, because, well, it's kind of like if we would have went to another country and forced them to build, build like, I'm trying to think of what we would, but build skyscrapers over there when they don't want that stuff over there, you know? So really, Shinra's the bad guys, but nonetheless, it became a socio-political war. I mean, with that, Genesis was the only one who knew everything that was to transpire, knew that Shinra was actually the bad guys that they should be fighting instead of fighting for. And that's why Genesis deserted. This is why Genesis deserted Angeal and Sephiroth and deserted the Shinra army. Because he knew that this was wrong. Really, they were killing innocent people just to put a Mako reactor there. You know, even though the Wutai War has been won, and, you know, Wutai has lost their natural resources, thus being forced to put a reactor there, even though they went back and destroyed the reactor that got put up there, but they have already lost a lot of resources, you know. Shinra forces are able to come and go like it's nothing, because, well, Shinra kind of owns Wutai at this point, because, well, in the war, it was the only way to actually end the war. So, yeah, it was a shit war, pretty much. But what happened was, they came back, people dishonored them, called them monsters. And this is exactly why one of the reasons why Angeal, besides his mutation, says he doesn't want to live, because he thinks he's a monster, Even though Angeal had angel wings, thus Angeal was pure of heart, and was fighting for the good of the world. That's why he created the situation to get Zack. And that's why Angeal that's why Angeal killed his mother, to get Zack riled up so Zack would find him and take him out. And so, asking Zack his last favor to take him out, because he didn't want to be looked at as a monster, because both Sephiroth and Angeal were looked upon as monsters during, after the war. And Sephiroth was confused because he was like, well, I was trying to help these people. I was trying to save these people. But, come to find out a little bit later doing Shinra research, Sephiroth too found out the truth that Shinra was only using their labor to fight a war that was meaningless. It was a meaningless war. You can't say it wasn't a meaningless war. It was a meaningless war, And the reason I compare it to the Wutai to the Vietnam War, it's the same thing when U.S. soldiers came to back to America after the war was fought. They were disrespected on, spit on, beat up, and just horribly treated. And then they start to think, is this what we fought for? Is this it? Is this it? Is this what we actually fought for? And in fact, that stuff's still going on today. A little bit. That stuff is still going on today. There are people who piss on the military because, just because there's people out there who are anti-war with everything. And no matter what political side you are, you can't deny the facts that Final Fantasy does not mind putting political and religious stuff into their games. They don't mind being a little controversial because the Vietnam War is a controversial topic because of that. But it's like if they try to retell that story in the game, because the Wutai War was just like that, and that's another reason why Sephiroth was messed up, because he fought a war thinking he was a hero and big hero, but people started to turn their backs on him. Besides people in Nibelheim, and people in Nibelheim, well, Nibelheim's a country. The Nibelheim is the country, so they're gonna be supportive of their troops no matter what, But everybody else, like in the Midgard, just didn't like him, and that's why Angeal felt real bad about himself. And understandably, you're gonna feel bad, fighting an unnecessary battle. So this is why I think it is pretty much Wutai War is based on the Vietnam War, because the Vietnam War was just like that. It was just like that. People came back. People were disrespected, treated horribly. I can't imagine if I was in the military at the time fighting for them. They coming back just only to be disrespected. And that's just how it is. Because everything now in this world is always have to be a political movement, even if you're not trying to be political. It's always a political movement, and if you don't believe in the right political ideology, you get disrespected. Even if you're not trying to support political parties, just every decision you make, it's treated as a political thing, even if you're not trying to be. Most people just want to live their lives and be regular, ordinary human beings and want to work. And I think that's the thing with the soldiers of Shinra. But they had to question it. I mean, when people say you're the bad guys enough times, it does make you question yourself and your morals and your loyalty to the world. So, yeah, that's why I think it's a lot like it. I think that the Wutai War was actually, inspired by the Vietnam War. And that's why... And that's why that chapter made a lot. That's why Crisis Core, the whole game, makes sense, because it was about soldiers who were trying to figure out their morality and what they absolutely believe in. If they are the heroes that Shinra made them out to be, or the villains that take things from other countries. It's really one of those type of things, and that's why, and each video game does take some inspiration from political history. You know how many video games always have World War II themes? Well, it's kind of like that. It's just like with Final Fantasy Type 0, where Type 0, the Militestan Empire are the Nazis, And same thing with Dirge of Cerberus. The Deep Ground Army was the Nazis, pretty much. So there's always going to be a political movement in anywhere, anyway, just for entertainment. But yes, I'd have to say that Wutai is the Wutai War is the Final Fantasy version or equivalent of the Vietnam War. And may the crystal be with you.